Lesson 27 is changing improper fractions to mixed numbers. This is a support lesson for the Common Core standards. It's not a 6th grade standard, but it is needed for us in order to proceed into the 6th grade standards. So first of all, let's go ahead and have you pause the video and copy down the title and push play when you're ready. And first let me define for you what an improper fraction is. An improper fraction is when the fraction is set up so that the larger number is above the smaller number. For example, 5/3. 5 is bigger than 3, and it's the one that's sitting on top. I usually call it the upside down snowman. You know how snowmen have the big body and the little head? Well, if my snowman is upside down and his head is on bottom, then he's an improper snowman. So improper fractions are when the bigger number is on top and the littler number is on bottom. We generally don't like the fractions to be that way as an answer, so if you end up with an improper fraction as an answer, you're expected to change it into a mixed number. A mixed number is a combination of a whole number and a fraction. So for example, 1 and 2/3 is a mixed number because it has a whole amount and then a partial amount. So that is a mixed number. Generally, your answers when we're dealing with fractions are expected to be put into mixed number form, but sometimes in order to do some of the math that we'll need to do with fractions, we might have a mixed number, we might have to change it into an improper fraction to be able to do the math, and then back out of it again into an answer. So lesson 27 is going to teach you how to change this into this, and then later lesson 28 will teach you how to change this into that, because you'll need to be able to go back and forth. And the first thing I want to do is point out to you that these are the same amounts. Just because they're written differently, they're still the same amount. So we'll take a look at this in terms of a pizza. If I'm looking at 5 slices of a pizza that's cut into 3 pieces, I would have a pizza cut into 3 pieces like that because of the 3, and I get to eat 5 of them. 1, 2, 3. Oops, but wait, there's only 3, so there must be another pizza cut into 3 pieces still for 5, and there's 5/3, so 5 pieces of pizzas that are cut into 3 equal pieces. 1 and 2/3 would mean I'm eating 1 whole pizza. That's not even cut up, just eating the whole thing. I'm just going to shove it in my mouth. And then 2/3 of another pizza. So I have another pizza that's cut into 3 equal pieces. And out of those 3 equal pieces, I get to eat 2 of them. So I'm eating 1 and 2/3 of the pizza. I'm eating all of this pizza and 2/3 of this one. Well, you can see that those are the same amount. So it's the same amount, just written differently. And in order to do the math with mixed numbers and fractions and improper fractions, we just need to know how to go back and forth. So I'd like you to get all of this copied down into your notes, and then push play when you're ready to continue. So how do I change an improper fraction into a mixed number? Well, let's go back to earlier in the when we learned about division, and I told you that fractions were basically just a number over another number, and so basically they're just a division problem. So what we do is this division problem is dividing the bottom into the top number. So we would divide the bottom 5 into 6. Another thing you learned earlier in the school year was that how to divide and have any remainder you have become a fraction. And so we're going to use that skill again. So first, let's go ahead and divide 5 into 6. How many 5s can I stuff into 6 without spilling over? I can only put 1 in. That leaves me with 5. 6 take away 5 is 1. And if you remember, when we just wanted to make the remainder a fraction, we took this remainder, 1, and we brought it up and put it as our numerator, the top number there. And the denominator stayed what the divisor is. So it stayed a 5. So 6/5 is the same as 1 1/5. Alright, I'm going to brainwash you. Here we go. To change an improper fraction into a mixed number, you go bottom into top, remainder is the numerator. 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 So get that stuck in your head. Say it to yourself a couple of times. Bottom into top, remainder is the numerator. And that is the song. Anytime you need to change an improper fraction into a mixed number, it's bottom into top, remainder is the numerator. And then so it's in your notes. I want you to go ahead and write down bottom into top, remainder is the numerator. Write that down, make sure that's in your notes, and then we'll go ahead and do some we-dos. Okay, we-do number 1. So go ahead and copy this down into your notes, 8/3. And this is an improper fraction, you can see, because 8 is bigger than 3, and 8 is on top. So when that larger number is on top, that's an improper fraction, and we want to change it into a mixed number. We change that into a mixed number by dividing bottom into top. So we're going to divide 3 into 8. And we just go ahead and do that like normal. How many 3's can I stuff into 8? I can put 2 in there, because 2 times 3 is 6. 8 take away 6 is 2. My remainder is 2. So I did bottom into top. Remainder is my numerator. My divisor, the 3, is still my denominator. So 8/3, the improper fraction, is the same as 2 2/3. You want to see for sure? Well, I've got, oh gosh, that's a terrible pizza. Let me try that again. We've got a pizza cut into 3 equal pieces, and I'm going to eat 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, oh, I need another one, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's 8/3. Over here I've got 2 2/3. Well, didn't I just eat 1 full pizza? 2 full pizzas. There's my 2. And then out of the next pizza, I ate 2 of the thirds. 2/3. So they're the same thing, just 2 different ways to write them. That's we-do number 1. Here's we-do number 2. Go ahead and copy this down into your notes. 7/5. 7/5 is improper because the large number is 7. is bigger than the 5, which is on bottom. When the bigger number is on top, it's an improper fraction, or an upside down snowman. So let's fix him by doing bottom into top. Remainder is the numerator. So we're going to divide 5 into 7. Be sure you're copying this down. And 5 is only going to fit into 7 once. And then I do 7 take away 5 is 2. My remainder becomes my numerator. Divisor becomes my denominator. So 7/5 is the same as 1 2/5. Now, a couple things I want to point out to you now that you're kind of getting the hang of this. We'll call this we do 3 just because I want to show you, and I'd like for you to have this in your notes. Let's say I had 9/3, and that's an improper fraction, of course, because the bigger number is above the smaller number. So I would do bottom into top, and 3 goes into 9 3 times exactly, actually. And I end up with a 0 remainder. Well, a 0 remainder just simply means that you don't need any more fraction. You did not eat any more. Some people might want to say, oh, I'll put 0 over 3. But 0 over 3 or 0 over anything actually means nothing. So your answer in this case, if there's no remainder, is just 3. 3 into 9 3 times, and no fraction. So it's not even a mixed number. It's just a whole number, and that's it. And then one more thing I want to show you, we'll call it we do number 4, it's just because I want to show you this in case you see it happen, is if you have something like 5 over 5. It's not proper because the small number is not on top, but it's not improper really either. What you'll find is that anytime that happens, a number is over itself, it's always 1 because 5 divides into 5 exactly 1 time. If I do 5 into 5, it's going to go 1 time exactly with nothing left over. So anytime you have a number over itself, it's always 1. It's just 1 because it divides evenly into itself 1 time. Okay, and we do number 5. I know you're copying all this stuff down, but it's pretty quick to copy down. Let's say I had 3 over 1. This is an improper fraction. You would do bottom into top, but it's easy division because 1 is going to go into 3 exactly 3 times with no remainder. So anytime you have a number over 1, it really does mean itself. And that's how I can turn a whole number into a fraction. Let's say I wanted to change this whole number into a fraction. Well, I could do that very easily simply by putting a 1 under it. I haven't changed the amount of pizzas. I'm just changing the way it looks. So it's still the same amount. Okay, so now it is your turn to try a you-do. Let's look at 10/3. It's an improper fraction because the big number is on top of the little number. And so you're going to want to change that to a mixed number. And you do that by doing bottom into top. Remainder is the numerator. So go ahead and change 10/3 into a mixed number. Push play or push pause until you get the answer, and then push play when you're ready to check your answer. Okay, let's see how you did. So we're going to divide bottom into top. That's 3 into 10. And 3 will fit into 10 3 times because 3 times 3 is 9. 10 subtract 9 is 1. My remainder is 1. So my answer is 3 1/3. 10/3 is the same amount as 3 1/3. Hopefully you did well and got that answer, or if you got stuck along the way, hopefully I was able to clear it up for you. Let's try another one. Okay, let's try you do number 2, and that's going to be 7/2 or 7 over 2. do bottom into top. Remainder is the numerator to find out what that number is as a mixed number instead of an improper fraction. Push pause until you find the answer, and then push play once you have the answer to see if you got it correct. Make sure to check and make sure you got it correct. All right, so you have an answer there. Let's see how you did. I'm going to do bottom into top, so it's going to be 2 into 7. 2 will fit into 7 3 times. That's as many times as I can fit it in without spilling over, because 3 times 2 is 6. 7 subtract 6 is 1, so that's my remainder. My remainder becomes my numerator. My divisor 2 stays as my denominator. So 7 halves, or 7 over 2, is the same as 3 and 1 half. These are the same numbers, just written in different ways. Hopefully you got that one correct. If you feel like you understand what we're doing, go ahead and come get the closure questions to prove that you know what you're doing. And if you're still unsure, you can rewind to any part of this video and get some clarification. Or if that doesn't work after you've tried that, and if you're still unsure, come see me so I can explain it a little bit further.